Everyone, welcome to Code One, and in this video I'm going to continue the interview automation series, and in this session we are going to see the Chrome browser options. So if I talk about the browser options, what are the different browser options we have? What is the meaning of the browser option? So browser options means while we running our automation script, we can perform different operation with this browser. Let's take an example, like I can run this in a headless mode. Okay, I can run it in this size, in maximize size, and okay, into the maximize size. Is there any kind of notification? I can disable that notification. If there any pop-up or some var info that I can disable, I can disable the GPU. Okay, and if I want to run it into an incognito mode or private mode, I can run that. So in this video we will see all these operations, how we can perform by using Selenium Java. So what are the common customized across browsers? Like what are the customized things that we can perform into the browser? We can run the browser into the headless mode. It means without the browser will not launch, and it will, our script will run. Okay, incognito mode, in private mode, means we can run our script into this private mode. And next thing, we can maximize the window. It means we can use a maximize full size of the window, and then we can disable the notification. There are many options are available, but these are the commonly options that we should use. Also, while you are answering the question into the interview, and if they are asking about the browser options, so you can take these names. These are the most common things that should be there into every automation framework. Okay, so how can we perform this? So we have one class in our Chrome driver, let's say, and where we need to write this class. Okay, here we have a class called Chrome options. Okay, Chrome options equals to new Chrome option. Where we have this class, if you see, this is available under the Selenium Chrome and Chrome options. Okay, so under the Selenium Chrome driver we have this Chrome option class, and with this object we can set some arguments. Okay, so whatever the argument we need to pass, let's say option dot add argument, and here I can pass my requirement. Let's see one by one. I want to first run this into a incognito mode, so I can pass incognito, and let's see what happens. Okay, after that, the next step, what I need to do, I need to pass these options into my Chrome driver. Okay, this statement of line, this line of statement is launching my browser, and here in my browser driver, in my driver, I'm passing my options that I configured. So these two lines of code you need to write or to run it into an incognito mode. Okay, let's run it and see, is it running in an incognito mode? So browser options, and you can see it's running in incognito mode. But if you see, the default size is this, it's not running in a maximize mode. So can we change that as well? Yes, by the browser options we can add this as well. For that we have to pass add options dot add argument. We have to pass another argument, and argument will be start hyphen maximized. Okay, now it will open into incognito mode as well as start as a maximized. Okay, you can see it's now opening in a full size. Okay, so these are the two use of it we have already done. So next thing, we can disable the notification in case of any notification we are getting, like to the browser updates or some notifications that we want to disable unnecessary notification. We can pass this hyphen disable hyphen notification. Similarly, like options dot add argument, and we can pass the argument here, right? Other option, we have to run it in a headless mode. This is the important one. So here, let's say they are asking you how you run the script into headless mode. So you can say like we are creating an object of Chrome option class, and then into that browser option we are going to set an argument as a headless. So for that we have to pass a text headless. I guess I'm correct, or it's start headless or headless. I need to just confirm. So it's headless only, right? So this time this browser will not open and it will run our script. So let me run it quickly. So this is my previous browser. I'm going to close it. If you see here, non-browser is running. So I go to run as and run it as Java application. You will see the browser is not open yet, but test script is running. To verify it's running, let me print a message or quit a driver as well. So driver.quit means it will close our browser, and then next thing I'm gonna print a message here. So sys out browser is closed. Okay, let me run it. If we can see this message, if we see this message, it means it's working properly. So you can see the message there, browser is closed. It means the browser is closed and test case is run, but we didn't see any GUI. So it's running in a headless mode. If I comment this line of code, this time it will open the browser and close the browser, because we are writing driver.quit. Okay. So in this way, you can use the browser options. And the next thing, let me comment this quit option and run, and let me show you how can you disable the info bar over there. And this can be an important question, like they can ask you when you are running the automation script, always you see this script, this pop up here, Chrome is being controlled by automated test software. So how can you disable this? Okay, do we have any option for this? So yes, we have an option for this. So for that, what we do, not we not only set the argument over there, we can also set the experimental options. Okay, so if I go and copy this line of code here, after arguments we can say options dot set experimental options. Here we are passing our parameter as a string exclude switch, means we have to exclude something. And what are these thing? Here we are passing the object of string array, right, that contains a value. Enable automation, we can pass other parameter also. If you want to disable or perform any other operations, we can pass like this. But for the now, I just want to disable that that pop up this message here. So this line code will work and it will exclude this switch, okay, from our automation instance, our driver instance. So I just right click, run it as a Java application. So you will see now you can't see that pop-up, it's not coming. So in this way you can disable that as well. If you see more options here, let's say options dot set see here, into that we need to pass a name, and then we have to pass a object of a string array. And next thing, we can perform more operations, like we can disable the GPU is the most common thing, and they can ask you what is GPU. So you should know what is GPU. If you see any automation framework, you will see this line of code, like they are disabling the GPU. Okay, this is the missing part in the session. So disable GPU. Okay, you will see this line of code will be there. So what is exactly this part is doing here? Why we are disabling the GPU? GPU means the graphical process unit. It means we are using the CPU, and it is over then we are using GPU. For the graphical thing, you can say the high resolution videos or animation. Let's say you are running a website that using high resolution animations, and we want to, like if we are using GPU, it will look good or perform better. So but during the automation, let's say we want to disable that. Okay, in that case we will use this disable GPU. So it will not make any change if we run the code. Let's run it again. And there are many options there are many tons of options are there to that we can add into the browser options. You can do some R&D over the ChatGPT with the help of ChatGPT or Google. And these are the most commonly things. And if interviewer asks you what is browser option and why we use in Selenium Java, you can answer this common things like to perform the incognito, start maximize, disable notification, disable the JPU. You should know what is JPU. And apart from the add argument, we can perform experimental options also, where we can pass the exclude switch to perform different options. For example, we can disable the automation info bar. Okay, so now we will see some more important experimental options for Chrome options. So you have seen like how can we disable the pop-up over there, or you can say the info bar that is showing the browser is controlled by automated test software. And now we'll see like how can we use more options or more advanced option by using this exclude switch option. Okay, so what are the different options we can use? First thing, we have already seen the enable automation. Okay, when we pass this enable automation as a object, array object, and a string form with exclude switch, we can disable this message. Okay, Chrome is being controlled by automated test software. Okay, you have already seen the practical here. Okay, how we are using, we are creating an object of option class, option Chrome options, and then set experimental option. We are passing exclude switch as a parameter key and a value as a enable automation. So okay, what this switch will do, this switch will enable, like this switch will exclude this enable automation. It means it will not display. Next thing, we can use disable extension. It means whatever the extension you are using is, if you see my current browser, we have this extensions here. Okay, similarly extension we can add by the automation as well. For that we have, I think, RTX files are there. um, so we can add those RTX files and we can add those extension at the real-time execution also. But make sure when you run any browser by automation, it will run a fresh profile. So by default, there will not be any extension. But if you want it, you can add. And let's say for a particular scenario or sometime you want disable those extensions, at that time you can use options.set external option exclude switch, and then you can pass disable extensions. Okay, so let's so we can't I can't show you the practical example of this because if you see your extension are it's your extensions are still not loading. It's because Chrome launch with a temporary user profile by default. Okay, which doesn't include a regular browser install extensions. The exclude switch option alone would not load an extension unless you explicitly. Okay, so you can read more about it, but it can be a important question in an interview. Okay, next thing, you sometime you need to ignore the certificates errors. Okay, you can see the HTTP errors. Let me show you. You are working on automation and you got this kind of thing over there, like this SSL is expired. Okay, in that case, how can you handle this application? So these are the advanced browser options. Okay, so let's set this. Okay, and check this URL how it's working. If I go to the definition, the ignore certificate error flag is a Chrome command line which that allow the browser to bypass the certificate validation check. So this will bypass this validation check. It will directly redirect to the website. When this flag is enabled, Chrome will ignore the Chrome error related to the invalid, untrusted SSL and TLS. So let's do a real-time practical. Again, I'm directly going into my Eclipse, and this is the flag that I need to add. So again, I'm going to, there are two ways to do these things. Let's say I can create again a set experimental. I can call set experimental options method, and we can say exclude switches, and here into a string object I can pass a new string array object, right? And I can pass this message. So this should be ignore, okay? Or I can directly pass it here as a ignore certificate also, okay? So both are valid options, and let me show you was it working or not. So I go to the optional set experimental, so and then I'm going to navigate to this URL. So what is my URL? Let me copy the URL. This is my URL that I'm going to use for a testing. And let's see, can I see this option? And then it is a Java application. And if I go here, it's okay, it's not there. Okay, so just a second, it's not printing a correct thing. So let me use a okay, let me use the add argument here. Might this option will work. So options dot add argument, and I'm going to pass my argument like this. Let's see what happened now. Okay, I'm going to comment this one. So now it's launching and now it's ignoring. So this option is working. Okay, let me try another way. See, here we can pass a single value as well as another value. So I'm just adding this to there, and I guess if I use ignore certificate error directly, it should work. Let me check. No, it's not working. Another try with double slash. No, it's again not working. So the simple thing, we can directly use ignore certificate errors command into our options with add argument. Okay, while I'm using this add argument with ignore certificate errors flag, it's working fine, so you can use it. So you have to try the solutions. You have to exclude by using exclude experimental options or add argument. You can perform these operations. So we have a next option here is disable background networking. Disable background networking means, let's say while I'm launching any browser, like let's say I'm launching this Google, okay, and here if you go to the network section, you will see the many requests are there. Okay, many requests are there. So some are related to this google.com server, and some are related to my extensions that I'm using or other options I'm using into this browser. Let's say I'm using my personal account, my Gmail is logged in with this browser, my profile is there, so Google will access this profile. So other many options are there. Okay, you will see if I open the google.com, you can see the different options are there. Okay, different URLs are there. So we can disable, okay, the network that is sending by the browser server, okay, not a Google server. Okay, if you go here and read this, the disable background networking flag prevent Chrome internal process 4 from making the background request such as a telemetry, okay, and update checks. However, it does not block requests made by the web application you are testing or user trigger except. It means it will not block any network of the testing website. So in my case, the testing website is google.com, and it will block that other request or updates that is coming from apart from this website. So how can you do that again? Again, for that we have a two solution. We can directly pass this we can directly pass this, where it is, disable background networking flag with add argument. Okay, so I'm gonna say options dot add argument, and I can pass this thing, right? Or again, the another option, you can try this one as well. We can pass the next value here, or we can create a new object and set to the experimenter. Okay, fine. So now let's run this. To run it, go to Java application. So this is just a main method I'm using for a practical purpose. Okay, now you will see it's signing, and this time we are checking the network thing. So go to your network section in your browser, inspect, and you will see there is no activity. Okay, so apart from this URL, if you refresh this will give you three or these URL that we are using into the application. Apart from that, there is no request coming from other side or the browser side. Okay, is there anything else? No. So we have done with exclude switch. So in this Chrome option tutorial, you have seen the basic operation as well as the advanced operation. So you should know how can we manipulate the browser things using Chrome options exclude switch. Okay. Next thing, we have a mobile emulation. Also, we can like open the browser in a different sizes. If you go here, go to the mobile view, and you can select this browser. So this applicate this will be, this browser will launch into that particular mobile view. Okay, let's say I go to the responsive. Okay, here you can see the different views are there. So by using the mobile simulation, another flag, we can do that. So probably in next tutorial we'll continue this, and we'll launch the browser in a mobile view in different sizes, and we also set the size. Okay, we can also set the size of a particular mobile or device. You can see the responsive iPhone SE, XR, 12 Pro, XL7, and we can dynamically type the size as well. We can change the size as well. So how we can perform this thing in automation will continue in the next video. So please subscribe Code One for more videos for related to the automation testing and testing domain. In this series, we are going to continue cover many questions related to the interview, that are the advanced question, and practically how can we answer them. So also, if you need the documents, you can comment me. I will share the documents as well. Thank you.